Well, what do you plan to do with your life when all of this is behind you?
Right from the start, the judge challenges the defendant with a simple but powerful question. What kind of life are you actually planning to live? It sets the tone for a deeper look into his past failures.
What I plan to do with my life, man, I'll leave behind me.
Are you going to make the world a better place?
Or this is a suggestion you have anywhere from 2 to 10 years. I would suggest somewhere towards the low to middle range, based on the original offenses and based on the fact that he certainly pled true to the administrative violations. The new offenses will rise and fall on their own, and he take care of Harris County. But I'd recommend something in that.
Are those cases pending in Harris County?
It's been disposed.
No, I got time served for it. So I was naked on the side of the highway. And then
You were what?
I was naked on the side of the highway, and then
Well, that'll get people's attention.
yeah, and they had a child in the car, and they called the police, and they said indecency in front of a child because there's a car.
What do you think?
And I was on the side of the highway.
That's logical, isn't it?
They gave me time served, 45 days.
Yeah. Oh no, but they got children in cars too. My goodness.
Yes, sir.
What were you doing?
I was high on meth. I was high on meth, and I was taking off my clothes.
Well, you know that's not an legal excuse.
Yes, sir.
You're getting more of that. It makes you do squirrely things.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you don't act like a human being's responsible human being when you're ingesting that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Plus, you don't know where it's coming from.
Yes, sir.
We've got some people who have been on this docket who have died because they thought, well, what's the harm of it? I'll try it. And then they dropped dead.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, they dropped dead like in seconds after they took it because it was something that was lethal.
Yeah, where he said, yeah. I see they got a new lab, here's a lab. So much you want to say.
Huh?
How much? Yeah, right, the lab.
On this April 8th incident, did the victims get their chainsaws back? They were pawned off at Triangle Pawn. It's like, you had a burglary of a habitation in Harris County. You were on probation. That was revoked. You got a few years in 2014. Then there was an assault of a family member out of Harris County. You got 2 years. And this says IS. I'm not sure what IS stands for.
Intensive supervision.
Intensive supervision. Then in 2017, there was an arson and you get 2 years, and it looks like 2 years in prison for that in 2018. Then in 2019, you were placed on probation for attempt to commit escape while arrested or confined out of Bexar County, and your probation was ultimately revoked and you received 10 months and 17 days in the state jail. I wonder how they got that, come up with that. A burglary of a building in this case, and a burglary of a building. So those are your felonies. Then in the misdemeanors, we go in 2014, 60 days in jail for criminal trespass. 4 days in jail for fictitious license plate. Let's see. Convictions, not counting these two convictions. So it looks like you got 6 felonies. And he's got about a year credit. Okay. All right. With that in mind, go ahead. Stay.
Were you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
He's done.
Judge, for whatever reason, the defendant's life has led him to become homeless and transient. And I think in trying to survive that lifestyle, he has turned to drugs as well as crime. And so to keep the defendant safe as well as the community safe from the lifestyle he's chosen to live, I'm going to ask that the court sentence him something to the higher end and something closer to the 10 years.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Did you want to say anything, sir? This is your time.
Thank you. No, I'm pretty much content with whatever.
Well, what do you plan to do with your life when all of this is behind you?
What I plan to do with my life and all.
I mean, are you gonna make the world a better place?
Oh, absolutely.
You haven't up to now, though. I mean, it's a consistent pattern of misbehavior.
Well, from when I was 20 years old until I was 26, I was clean and sober, and I was living in San Antonio. And then my dad picked me up and brought me home. And then when I got home, I lived at home, and I became familiar with the homeless community and doing drugs. And then, so from 26 to 30, I fell off and I started doing drugs again. But from 20 to 26, after my escape case, I was clean and sober for 6 years in San Antonio. So I mean, moving to a place like that would
What caused you to fall off the wagon?
my dad was actually he violated his parole, and then he went off to jail, and then he left me.
What was he on parole for?
He's a sex offender. He's like something, I don't know what his case is, but he was a sex offender and he got a blue warrant.
Okay, he wasn't a good role model.
Yeah,
Like you said, a bad example. But you've come to know and understand that
Mhm.
and appreciate it. You're making your own decisions, though, right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Versus good and evil, not because of your dad. It's bad behavior, but your behavior, which isn't good. Or are you fixing that?
Yes, sir. I'm working on it.
Well, what's your plan, though?
Well, right now I stay on suicide precautions, and because I hear a lot of voices, I've got a lot of mental disorders, and I stay on suicide precautions in the
How
cell.
long were you on meth?
Oh, I was on meth from 17 to 20, and then I was sober for 6 years, and then from like 28 to 30, probably.
Well, don't you think long-term methamphetamine use, because you don't know where you're not buying it from a doctor, you're getting it off the street, and
Yes, sir.
God knows what's in it.
Mhm.
I mean, that's going to, see, you don't know.
The judge doesn't hold back, comparing drug use to playing Russian roulette. This moment hits hard. It's no longer just about crime, but about a self-destructive lifestyle spiraling out of control.
Putting stuff in that can kill you.
Yes, sir.
I mean, people are dropping dead
Yes, sir.
with some of this stuff. Well, that's like putting a gun to your head, spinning the barrel, and no, that's just no way to live. You just don't know when that bullet's going to come out of there next. Yeah. Anyway, that's you got to live. I'm not telling you this that you don't know, but you got to live in a responsible way, not a life-threatening way.
Yes, sir.
And then get a family and have a family and be a good example.
Yes, sir.
Is that a plan?
Yes,
That
sir.
sounds like a great plan to me.
Yes, sir.
All right. But you're going to end up having to pay for this. And then you can move on
Yes, sir. Okay.
and do better.
Yes, sir.
If nothing further, I'm going to find in each of these cases, which, by the way, are cause numbers 24 CR 1178 and 1180. The defendant was convicted of the state jail felonies of burglary of a building in each case, but he was sentenced to 10 years in prison, and that was probated for 10 years. And that is not a state jail felony punishment, but because he had 2 or more prior convictions, he was punished as though. Stand by. Let's see. Indictments. Each of these indictments. Yeah, those were subsequent convictions. Burglary of a habitation, 2014, out of Harris County. After that became final, and he committed assault on a family member, 3rd degree, and was convicted of that out of the 176th District Court of Harris County, Texas, in 2018. So this was a state jail felony, but it was punished as though it were 2nd degree felony. So you were looking at up to 20 years in prison, but it's capped at 10 over 10. So we are looking at no less than 2 nor more than 10 years confinement in prison. Once again, I'm going to find that the defendant has pleaded true in these amended motions to revoke probation in each of these 2 cases, to allegations 1, 5, and 7, failing to report to the probation office on or about September 25th, 2025 in violation of this probation order, failing to remain in Jefferson County, Texas, and that he was in Harris County without permission of the Jefferson County Probation Office, and failing to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office all on or about September 25th, 2025, March 15th, 2025, and November 18th, 2025, respectively, as to allegations 1, 5, and 7 in each of these cases. Thus, that is enough to grant these motions to revoke probation by a preponderance of the evidence or greater, actually beyond a reasonable doubt. This court finds as well in all cases in these matters. Your probation is hereby revoked, and you were hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 7 years in each of these cases. Please do better in the future and make a better life.
Yes, sir.
In each of these cases, good luck.
After reviewing years of repeated offenses and broken chances, the judge revokes probation and hands down 7 years in prison. A clear message. Second chances mean nothing without real change.